Welcome to another episode of the official Preston North End podcast. This is PNE Pod. My name's Niall McCorn.
And I'm Neil Millar. We'll be chatting to some PNE legends, some former teammates of mine, some famous PNE fans as well on the show.
And also some current first team PNE players, and that's exactly who we've got today. We've got Liam Millar, someone who comes from Canada and has had a really interesting background in the game.
Played in a World Cup, may play in another World Cup, and is certainly enjoying his spell at Preston North End.
Okay, well, let's get stuck into the story of how Liam Millar became a professional footballer on PNE Pod. You said not long ago that you missed out on one of the Canada squads during your time in the early stages at Basel, and that changed your mentality. What was it about that moment that made you think differently?
Yeah, so it was like every camp for Canada at that time, from when I was 17 years old, playing in the 18s of Liverpool, I was called up for the national team. I was never not once called up, and I didn't play every time.
So you were playing under 18s for Liverpool, and you've been called up for the Canada national team. Not even under 18s Canada, you're the proper
first
team.
Yeah. Because that, again, like at the time, not saying that was the standard, but my coach John wanted to bring in the next generation of players. So he brought me in, he brought everybody in. Jonathan David as well was a Genk in 21s, I think. Genk 21s, just playing in the first team a little bit. And he brought Johnny in. So he brought like a lot of us in who weren't like necessarily playing regular first team minutes. But anyways, so I never not been called up for a camp. And I went to Basel, and I was speaking to the captain there, who's a legend, Valentin Stalker at Basel. And I was telling him like, hey, Valley, like I'm not playing much here. Like you think I'm gonna go national team? He's like, yeah, you went national team when you're playing for like Liverpool 18s. Of course you're gonna go. So then I kind of like forgot about it, you know. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go. Don't worry about it. And then I get the thing, and it's like standby, and I was like, oh no, like really? And like my heart sank, you know, like deep in my belly, right? And it was like that realization of like, okay, I'm not doing enough. Like I gotta do more. Like there's no way I'm not getting called in for the national team.
Did the coach not ring you up to tell you this or not?
Yeah, he did. But it was after, you know, like he called me after I got the thing, like because he sent it and I saw it, and he called me like 20 minutes later.
I guess you felt like maybe you were taking it for granted.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you know, because I was like thinking, oh, I'm gonna go every time. It doesn't matter, whatever. I just gotta keep like just training, and then I'll go, and then you know I'll be a part of it, whatever. But that wasn't the case, and I really like had to like take that in to realize, okay, I gotta like kick it up here. And you know I did a lot of extras at Liverpool and a lot of stuff to like get better then. But then I was like, okay, but I got to add this into the men's game now, because it's not just because I've made it now I can just like stop doing all that, which I thought I could, but I couldn't, right? So then I was like, okay, like I got to do more. I got to do more in the gym. I got to do more extras. I got to like make sure that I'm ready again, you know, because like I said to you before, it's all about like learning really when you're young. It's like you have to learn these things, because like no one's going to like show you, right? No one's going to show you that you're not going to get selected for your national team, and like you're going to have to work harder for like to get that selection back. So it was just like, yeah, again, so I worked really hard, and then I had a really good season in Basel after that, because I really put my head down and I worked as hard as I possibly could for that to happen.
So were you worried about not getting in the World Cup squad?
Yeah, but that was the second year though. That was the second year. That was hard for me because I wasn't playing well at Basel at the time, you know, because a lot of things off the field was not going well, and you know on the field it was also really difficult. You know, can't say too much, but you know, like we had a lot of coaches at the time, and it was really hard for me to
so unsettled environment.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah. Because like the first 3 coaches I had there at Basel thought I was a very good player, and they all trusted in me, and they played me very often. And then you know I had other coaches who didn't think I was so good, and they thought other players were better than me, and then I was like in and out all the time. So it was like quite hard. But yeah, I wasn't playing well in that beginning of the second season at Basel, so I was like really nervous for the World Cup, because I was like, this is the biggest thing for me, like biggest thing in my career so far is this World Cup, and I really just want to go and whatnot. And then I got the call from my coach telling me that he was going to select me, and he literally just said to me like, I'm going to select you because I know how good you can be, but also because for what you've done for the group, you know, you've been involved basically the whole time. And I think I owe it to you at least to put you in the squad, you know, at least, you know. And I was like, okay, thank you. Like I was like crying, you know, I was like, thank God, you know. And then the next day I actually had a game for Basel, and I played so well because I felt so like free. You know, I was like, oh, I don't have to stress anymore. And I played so well, and yeah, so yeah, and then obviously the World Cup came, and yeah, I got on because Tajon got a cramp, but I wouldn't take it any other way. So I got on the field at a World Cup. You know, how many players in their career can say they played at a World Cup?
Last 10 minutes, Belgium, first group
Exactly.
Yeah, and the next World Cup
It's
is in
Toronto,
Canada.
yeah. It's in
So
Canada, yeah.
incentive.
Exactly. So yeah, it was just like an unreal experience for me. You know, I got to play against, you know, Kevin De Bruyne, and
Did you get anyone's shirt at the end of the game, or did you keep your own? What did you do?
No, I kept my own, like, because like I was gonna swap it. I was gonna ask someone to swap it, but then I thought to myself, like, you know what, like, this is the first game I ever played at a World Cup. I want to keep my shirt. You know, I don't want to give it away, so I kept that one. I've tried to get others from other players, like from Croatia and from Morocco, but they were all taken. Like, everyone just grabbed them. So
Whose did you want? Modric.
Yeah, I wanted Modric.
Big list for him.
But you know what? I actually wanted Kovacic, you know, because he really impressed me in the game. Like, he was really, really good. You just bully everybody, get the ball, drive, power. Like, I really thought he was really good.
What was the score? 4-1 to Croatia.
I think so, yeah. Because we scored in the first minute, right?
Yeah.
So like, imagine for us, like, we had that game in against Belgium where we lost 1-0, but we dominated the game. You know, we should have scored.
Yeah,
Alfonso missed a
yeah.
penalty. And you know, Johnny could have scored a couple chances. Like, we had loads of chances in the game. We should have won like 4-1, to be honest. We should have, and we didn't. And then, you know, we looked at the stats after the game, and we had like a 3-something XG, and we should have won the game, and it was blah blah blah, all this stuff. So we thought we were like,
Hang on, do you look at them stats? XG. Do you look at XG?
to be honest, sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Like not overly, like, all the time, but like, I do understand it, and like, I do get it. So like, and I do think it's somewhat important. It's not everything, but it is somewhat important. You know what I mean? So I do just look at it. Yeah. So we thought we were like in this amazing place and stuff like that. And then the first minute of Croatia, we score, and everyone's like, okay, we're here. Like, okay, we're ready. Like, we're gonna like compete here. And then Croatia just teach us a lesson, man. Like, they destroy us. Like, and it was crazy because
Were you happy just to sit on the bench and think, I don't want to get out there?
No, I still wanted to go on. It was like, honestly, I felt like in every game of the World Cup, I could have done something, honestly, because I wasn't playing well in Basel, but like, I felt like a different mindset for me when I was at the World Cup again. I was so focused again, like laser focused, and I felt like I could have done anything like when I played. And even against Belgium, I thought I did all right. I took a terrible corner, which my friends still make fun of me about all the time. But I mean, I still felt like I did all right, especially against like top players there. And yeah, but like, again, like, Croatia taught us a lesson. They really like taught us that we need to humble ourselves a little bit. And then we played against Morocco, and they were just as good as Croatia. And
they got to the semis, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, it was crazy because like, before we went into the World Cup, we, like, our group, we thought, yeah, it's hard, but it's not impossible. You know, like, we were like thinking, like, you know, we could maybe sneak out here if we like get okay, we'll lose Belgium, right? This is what we're thinking before, right? We'll lose Belgium. If we sneak a draw against Croatia, we have a chance, right? So that's what we were all thinking, I think, right? And we played against Morocco, and Morocco was probably the best team in the group. You know, they were unbelievable. They popped us. They had Boufal on the wing, who was destroying us at the time. And then you look at it, and then 2 people from our group made it in the semifinals, right? So we didn't do what we should have done in the World Cup. Group of death. Now, we shouldn't have done we didn't do what we should have done, right? But if you look back at our group, we had 2 semifinalists in our group. So it's like, yeah, we could have done more, but we had a hard group.
Neil Millar scored. Preston take the lead. And that's exactly what it means to Neil Millar to score in the West Lancashire derby.